Going live now.
All right. Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us tonight. We're going to be talking about The Boys, season 4. We're going episodes 4 through 6. So let's go ahead and get started. All right. So got our lovely panel here, Brittany, Jermaine, and Phipps. How y'all doing?
I'm good. I'm good.
All right. So before we get into the first episode, I think we have a video package that's going to run first, or not. We can go with not. Okay, never mind. We're going to jump in straight.
No, I got it.
Oh, you got it. Okay,
Hey,
because that look of pain.
Hamburgers.
The fuck do you want, Dave?
Justice, you
Fucking bitch. God, I'm gonna enjoy this.
so much.
First you try to cancel.
Victimize an innocent man because I guess that's just cool to
To
do.
do white guys nowadays? The joke's on you. Me Too's over, sweetheart. It didn't work. Wah, wah, wah. I do not respect your truth. I do not honor and cherish your story. I do not.
Fucking apologize.
You better die, lose the handle the truth. You better die, D.I.E. You better die, D.I.E. You better die, D.I.E. You better die, D.I.E.
How could he do this to me?
Thank you.
I can see it burning, you disgusting fat fuck.
Get off the
Fucking stage. What did you say to me? I'm so sorry. I didn't mean it.
What are you doing? Wait, are you? You're the leak?
Bro, it was you, bro.
Deep, just FYI, I have always fucking hated your ass.
The Vernon family started out as slave catchers. You know, I bet A-Train here would have given my great-great-granddaddy a run for his money.
Oh.
Huh?
But we would have caught you.
Oh.
I guess we'll never know.
It was me.
What was you? I'm sorry.
If you come here again, go fucking kill me.
Ready to talk?
Eat shit!
100 million to Black Lives
No,
Matter.
not those people! Fuck you! Fuck you! No, wait! Oh,
Is the virus gone?
Yes. Except for one dose.
Hey, how transmissible is that?
Not very, only through bodily fluid, blood, saliva, semen.
Okay, so we inject it into your dead buddy over here as bait, and then we put him outside to infect the crazy fucking flying sheep.
This man is in no condition to fuck a sheep.
They would eat.
Yeah, I was trying to hit this. I guess I could take one too.
Oh boy. So you just sent me those videos earlier. I didn't make it to the last one, so that's wild. All right, any quick thoughts on that? Because we're going to touch on most of that stuff tonight. But I will comment that there was a lot of gratuitous A-Train shots up in there. I don't suppose somebody has a particular reason for that, but if you want to speak up about it.
Well, I mean, let's just say these episodes. Hopefully, you've enjoyed A Train because you might not be getting a lot more of him.
Yeah, that he gonna die. That was pretty good.
He gonna die. He gonna do he gonna do what he does best. He gonna run.
I don't think he can run far enough, fast enough. But we have not.
Wait a minute. Is that like in the next episode or something like that, or is this something that you just know?
Not the ones that's been out so far. So I think we're up to 7, even though we're only going to 6 tonight. No, he does not die in 7. So
okay.
Nothing that we've seen tells us that he's dead. Huh?
How many episodes is the show?
8, I think. Yeah.
We just got one left?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Well, dang. A-Train died.
He ain't died. He ain't died
yet. But, I mean, everything we know about the show so far ain't looking too good for the home team.
Damn.
Yeah,
it's tough.
All right. Well, let's just roll up into these 3 episodes. We're going to start with episode 4, named Wisdom of the Ages. The synopsis is Homelander returns to his childhood lab, tormenting most of the staff. Daphne's plan to take Huey Sr. off of life support angers Huey. Annie meets with Singer to strike a deal. Singer, the president, to strike a deal to take down Vought. Huey and Kamiko secure Compound V from A-Train for Huey's father, but they're ambushed by Shining Light. Mother's Milk and Butcher fail to blackmail Firecracker, who publicly discredits Annie by revealing her decision to have an abortion months prior, damaging her and ends her alliance with Singer. That's the quick rundown of the episode. So any quick thoughts before we go blow by blow through this?
Yeah, right. This starts off a good show. Like these next few episodes, they hit their stride.
Yeah, buddy. All right. So I'm gonna go through the breakdown. Feel free to stop me if y'all have something y'all want to chime in on, but I'll have breaks to ask questions and see what everybody's thinking. All right. So the episode opens with a scene of the underground lab where Homelander, previously known as John, grew up. In the lab, scientists are going about their normal work. When a security guard alerts the assistant director, Marty, that security cameras upstairs had gone blank. When the security guard calls Vought to inform them there's been a breach, he discovers the line is dead. As they watch the elevator slowly open down to their level, they prepare themselves for the worst. And when the door opens, it's Homelander standing there with a box, a chocolate ice cream cake inside a box. Homelander appears to be in good spirits. He's talking to the lab staff, but everybody's noticed because it's Homelander. He reminds one of the people on staff, Frank, that he remembers as a child when Frank put him in the incinerator while playing a game outside. Homelander asks Frank to step into the incinerator while Homelander throws a paper ball into the trash. He burns Frank, and Homelander laughs while he dies. Homelander asks Marty to touch himself in front of the staff after recounting a memory when Marty laughed at Homelander doing the same thing. I think Marty gave him a nickname. I can't remember what it is. But Squirt, that's what it was. And he said, "You gave me that name because you caught me. I pleasure myself because I had it down to when you and the guards would be away and I can have, my alone time. And you make fun of me that way." So he makes Marty do the same thing. And he forces Marty to do it, and if he doesn't, basically didn't get hard in a certain amount of time, he was going to blow it out. Which is what he eventually.
But it was that scene when he was jacking off and he decides to spit on it.
He was giving it all he could.
I mean, because at first it was just like, okay, I know I got to do this, but when Homelander's like, nah, bro, you got to like really do this. Yeah, the spit did take me out. I was like, oh, we going there. All right. So after he lasers Marty in the dick and kills Marty. Oh well, no, he doesn't kill him. He just lasers him in the dick. Then the boss Barbara comes down. She tells him to finish Marty off to put him out of his misery. She tells Homelander that he always had the ability to escape the lab, but never did because Vought brought in the best psychologists to ensure that he constantly sought their approval. Homelander recognizes that this is true, and then he locks Barbara in the what he called the bad room, kills the entire staff, and just leaves her in there with all the bloody bodies. So that's everything Homelander does in this episode, which to me played like kind of a classic horror thing because you're just waiting for him to do some slasher shit, and that's kind of what he does. Yeah. So Phipps, after taking in the totality of what Homelander did, when he first showed up, did you expect him to go full Homelander and to go in this kind of methodical way that he did instead of just like killing everybody when he first showed up?
Well, I mean, here's the thing. Let's take one step back. Episode 3, last scene, where you have his schizophrenia, let's say, breaking apart, and the only thing they all came together on was going to the bad place. You got to go home. So when he gets off the elevator with like a singular focus, all these personalities in his mind, you got a singular focus. It was business time. Like nobody looked happy to see him walk off the elevator. You know, you got everybody that's like, oh, we don't know if something's going on. It could be a breach. You see Homelander walks up. Everybody's nervous. Everybody's worried because they know, listen, this is probably it. He has a whale. He's trying to make everybody feel good. Like, we're not going to see the end of this whale. Let's just call it what it is.
Oh, that's right. The cake was a whale. I forgot. But like going off of episode 3 when he says he got to go home. I mean, normally with Homelander when he's like go and do this stuff, he's irrational, but he's also like kind of spontaneous in his anger decision. So this seemed like really well thought out. Like, I'm going to come here under these pretenses and make everybody freeze the fuck up, and then I'm going to just torture everyone by actually only killing like 2 people before I kill everybody. And it seemed like he was down there for like a couple hours, which is so.
He took a shift. He took a whole shift of their time. And I mean, I think the show, you know, just thinking about the next episodes, everything else is going on. They really play it up because this is so important to what else happens next in the show. You know, he's showing that in his mind, how his personalities are trying to have him process and do what they feel is right. All of them feel that this is right. Go and do this and you'll feel better. And it's like, nope. They still have control over you. Like the one person that you definitely need that approval from, and it trickles down to everybody else that we see. He has that mother figure that he, you know, it hurts him more to have them disapprove of him. And he can kill everybody he wants. That woman walked in frail, couldn't harm him if she tried, and he wouldn't dare do anything to her.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Jermaine, Brittany, anybody got anything else you want to add about Homelander?
So just real quick, first off, Homelander is fucking death in a fucking cape. So anytime you see Homelander, you're clutching your pearls, you're holding your nuts, you're doing all that shit. I don't give a damn, especially in a confined space. I ain't got nowhere to run. Where the fuck am I gonna go? I'm in a fucking basement as it is. Homelander comes off, and you already know that there's some issue because he probably killed everybody up there anyway.
Oh, he did, yeah.
So, like, fuck, what the fuck are you gonna do?
I mean, but at that point, you chose to still work there. You know that this dude is unhinged, so it's part of you just kind of sitting there waiting for the day he walk in.
at this point, like it's been years, it's been decades since this dude has probably been there. You know what I'm saying? He old. We see it. He got great
Great,
pubes
yeah.
and shit. He's wrinkly and shit. And so you don't expect Homelander to come. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, because you got to think about some of those people that work down there. They didn't work down there when he was there. He says that he's like, oh, we got a bunch of new faces.
Yeah, this is true. That is true. But still, I mean, if you know what went on down there, I mean, especially them old dudes, like we made him unstable. Why would like give me my pension, let me go somewhere and don't keep my shit on file so you can't find me.
I think they thought that he wasn't going to come back. I didn't think that they thought he would come back at all. So they had safety. So in their mind, they were safe. They knew that they were good. He wasn't coming back. He's living off and bought land somewhere, doing his own thing, being Homelander. I think they felt safe.
Yeah, he was a company man. Yeah, as long as you did what Vought said, you did what he said, and most people most people stay alive that way.
But they also knew that he psychologically had some type of connection to them. And so, because of that psychological connection that the psychologist came in and did, they did not think that he would hurt them because psychologically he wanted love from all of them.
Agreed. Yeah, but and in see that last point, knowing that, and the minute Homeboy went and like killed people on TV and got off for it, it's like all bets are off. I'm like, oh, it's time for me to retire now. Yeah. I don't know if he's gonna come back, but I don't want to know if he come back. And if he come back, y'all can deal with him, just not me.
Well, in this whole universe, this whole show is fucked up, and everybody has got everybody's holding everybody's nut sacks, right? So you working there because I'm making you work there, not because you want the money.
That is true. That is
true. You know what I'm saying?
That is true. I forget about that manipulation factor of Vought and how they get down. So yeah, that's a good point. Because I surely would have grabbed my pension a long time ago and been out this bitch. But yeah, they probably holding you hostage.
Yeah,
it just kind of ended up sucking for them. But we'll move on to the rest of the episode. So while this is going on, Huey is visiting with his father in the hospital, where he's told that his feeding tubes will be taken out and that he will die in a matter of days. He's devastated, so he and Kamiko go and they meet A-Train, and Huey tells him that they can find him and A-Train can finally be even if A-Train can give him some Compound V. A-Train, even though he knows that the Compound V is strictly with Homelander, reluctantly agrees and manages to steal it from Homelander's apartment. After their meeting with A-Train, Kamiko and Huey get shot at by members of Shining Light. They manage to fight their way out, but Huey gets injured in the process. Sister Sage is continuing her plan to take down Starlight by getting Firecracker a 6-hour TV special where she reveals all of Starlight's secrets. Firecracker sets up a huge stage directly across from Starlight's house, which enrages Annie, who can't help but listen to some of the claims Firecracker makes. Annie gets so enraged when Firecracker reveals that Annie had an abortion, which was a tough decision for her when she made it. She loses it. She attacks Firecracker and beats her ass on stage, almost to death. Sage watches from TV afar, pleased at how Starlight is handling Firecracker. Earlier in the episode, Annie had met with President Singer asking to form an alliance, and he reluctantly agreed. After this happened, he meets with her again and says he's got to distance himself from her because of what has happened, and she is distraught over this decision and everything that's happened. So that's pretty much Starlight's take for this episode. So I'll go with you, Jermaine. I'll start with the Huey part. Watching now, knowing what we know about Compound V and understanding that Huey, the position that Huey's in, him just wanting to save his father. Did you think that that they would turn out as dire as it did? Because we'll get into what happened, but it's a desperate decision. He's trying to save love, and I know we can all relate to that. But we also know Compound V in this world, almost nothing good happens from it. So, is it something? Did you think it would turn out as bad as it did?
No. And the reason I didn't was because, well first, let me say this, even though my answer is no. What we had seen was let me take that back. Because what's your boy? The main guy in the boys. I can't think of that character.
Butcher.
So he took Compound V basically, and he got powers, right? Please correct me if I'm wrong.
Right.
He took it, he got powers, and then now he's sick. So okay, let me walk that back. Yes, understanding that. For some reason, I thought he meaning Butcher took something else, which made him sick after he had the powers. That in my head,
he had the Temp V. So you think he took Temp V? Him and Huey took Temp V. That's what you know.
And they
okay.
Yeah, he kept taking it. It was the extended taking it that caused him to get sick. Like Huey stopped and he's fine, but Butcher just kept doing it.
Okay. So yeah, given those circumstances, yes, that's the only outcome that would have happened. I mean, to do the things that he did, like he definitely progressed a whole hell of a lot faster than Butcher did. So that was unexpected.
Yeah, when I think that's next episode. So we'll get into what happens there. But so Brittany, we'll talk about I'm gonna ask you about Sister Sage and her whole plan. She's got this big, long, elaborate plan. And in this part, she's using Firecracker to get at Starlight. But clearly she does not like Firecracker. And she takes satisfaction in how her plan comes together. Did you? So I got a certain amount of enjoyment out of seeing Firecracker get her ass whipped.
I did too.
Yeah, so that's kind of my question to you. Like, do you think she was properly set up to achieve both her plan's goals and to give us enjoyment of seeing a racist white woman get her ass whipped?
Hell yeah, that racist white bitch needed to get her ass beat from left to right, dragged. I loved every part of it. She got on my last nerve. Firecracker is the epitome of a Karen. And to get that Karen to get her ass beat was everything. I loved every part of it. And then the satisfaction of Sage sitting there looking at it and it being her plan come to fruition. Black woman's plan coming to fruition, controlling everybody like the puppet master. It's awesome.
The plan within a plan. That was the amazing aspect about that for me. That was it.
And I did forget a part that was in there. Before she goes on stage and reveals the abortion thing, Butcher and Frenchie try to blackmail Firecracker because she has admittedly had relations with a minor,
15-year-old.
15-year-old. And she went ahead and she was like, she sent the message. Now, mind you, all of her followers are harassing Starlight because they think they're kids locked in the basement that they're abusing. Where she's going to admit
these ultra right motherfuckers. It's just like Trump and them. It don't matter what Trump do. They don't give a fuck what he do. They care what the other side does. They think the other side are hypocrites and shit. They don't look at their own tribe.
Right. And I've been saying this thing is not subtext anymore. It's just straight text. It's like
straight.
It's like this is what your side does. I actually do touch little kids. And I'm going to admit that, but right after, like, I'm going to admit it on TV, but right after I do it, I'm just going to say the word abortion and poof, it goes away and you're going to go try to take down Annie.
You got to add the God portion into it. She asked for forgiveness and to sanctify.
That's right. When in doubt, Jesus it out. That ask for forgiveness and all those people will get with you. All right. Anyone want to add anything else about Firecracker and Starlight right here?
I mean, you gotta give her credit. You know, she gambled. She's like, listen, you're not gonna have anything over me. She came out. She like she understands the intelligence level of her demographic, right? And again, this goes directly to quotes that Trump has stated. Like, if I wanted to run for president, I would run as Republican because they believe anything. He's doing exactly what he stated, just the same way that she's doing exactly what she stated. They're like, we're telling the truth in a TV show at this point. But no, to see that master plan come together, but also because of the master plan coming together, it starts to unravel for Sage. She's doing exactly what's going on, and we already talked about it. Like, can Homelander actually go through with this plan because he isn't the mastermind behind it? He says he can, but
I mean, that's what when he first met her, she said, "You're not going to be able to handle me being behind this, but if you say so, we can try this." And she has proven it, like her moniker of being the smartest person in this world, to be true, because she's seen everything happening before it's happened, and she's completely right about this. But we'll get to her and her blow up with Homelander later. All right, moving on. While when Butcher and Frenchie did try to blackmail Firecracker, before that they were in her trailer trying to find stuff about her, and they're interrupted by Firecracker's friend Ezekiel, who attacks them. Frenchie gets thrown through a window and hurt, and he is about to kill Butcher when Butcher blacks out, and when he wakes up, Ezekiel has exploded all over the trailer, and he has no idea why. All right. Later, Colin helps tends to Frenchie's wound when Frenchie finally breaks down and confesses that he's the one that murdered Colin's family. Appalled, Colin tells Frenchie to stay away or he'll kill him. His exact words, "I'll fucking kill you." I think that's what he said. Then we go back to Sister Sage. She's talking to the Deep, and this is where we are introduced to her frontal lobotomy, and she asks the Deep to give it to her. And she claims that that she finds pleasure in feeling less intelligent, if only briefly, because her brain regrows every time. Like, that's her thing. Her brain keeps regrowing. So she can get lobotomized and her brain's going to regrow and she'll be back to normal. But in that brief moment, she gets to enjoy just being, I'm going to say, simple at that moment. He agrees to do it, and then they have sex in various ways that they will say later on. And the end of the episode, Hugo brings the compound V to his father's bedside, but he ultimately decides not to give it to him after warning words from Butcher. However, his father suddenly comes back to life and is breathing again, and we see that the compound V is going into the IV. And he was confused by it, but then he figures his mother, she's looking at him, and he figures that she's the one that hooked it up for him as he brought it in, and that's how that episode ends. So, Jermaine, since you had such a reaction to the lobotomy, what did you think of the way that Sister Sage has to go about getting her pleasure, and then what results after she gets her little eye tap?
For me, it was all about the sex, baby. I mean, this is the boys, and so you expect gore, and so like that wasn't really like a shock. The shock was the sex, and put some sexy people together. I want to see. I want the sex. I don't care what kind of sex it is. I want the sex. So I was here for it, baby.
Like, I'm used to sex in this show. I forget exactly what she said, but it was the way that, like, you do this. I want to say she said something about
anal.
I'll let you. Yeah.
She was. I think she said, "I'll let you fuck me in the ass if you do this," because that was the selling point. Because he was very hesitant, and then she said that he was like, "Oh, let's get to it." And he grabbed it and started doing a little tap.
Which, by the way, I'm sorry, Brittany. I heard you talking, but I couldn't hear you. But I want to see him shirtless more. I want naked. Give me all of that.
Who, the Deep?
Yeah.
Okay. The gills creep me out, so I hate when he takes his shirt off. It
it's weird.
It's very weird.
Yeah.
Brittany, your thoughts?
He been doing his push-ups though. He been doing his push-ups.
The fact that she said "fuck me" and let's have anal sex and eat chicken wings and give me a lobotomy was everything.
That's right. I forgot about the chicken wings.
That's all you need, a big bucket.
It's like a cigarette after sex. Like, come
on. And he was like, "Let's go to Pound Town, baby. I'm ready."
Phipps, you shaking your head. What's up, man? What's going on?
It was probably one of the funniest scenes because when she was like scraping my brains out, I was like, "Oh, this is about to get weird." But of all the people that have this weird thing going on, you got the deep that will do literally anything. So he is like, you know what? Let's go. He is game.
I have a question. All right. So in episode 1, he was okay with sucking A-Train's dick. Do you think if the right opportunity came, he would have sex with a man?
Yes.
Yeah, easily.
Sex with anything. I don't think it matters what the sexuality is or what the species is of the thing he wants to have sex with. As long as he feels some type of connection, he's gonna have sex with it.
Yeah.
I don't even know if he has to have a connection. I don't think he's quite as bad as Tech Knight, who sees a hole and just has to stick it in a hole. But he's like with it.
That's what I wanted to see in his episode. But I'm sorry, we're not there yet.
No, we're not there yet.
You're gonna tear it out. You got Tech Knight, Web Weaver. Then you know the deep goes. He's underneath them too, but those are pretty high problematic people with their sex drive.
Super problematic.
Did you see the lube for Web Weaver?
No, that was all him.
No. I'm just saying, like, that's the kind of lube that you have when you getting fisted. Like, he's serious about it.
Yeah, he plays no games.
Wait, was this in Web Weaver's place or in Tech Knight's place?
No, this is Web Weaver, but we'll get to that.
Okay, yeah, I think that's 2 episodes from now.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'll give this question up to anybody if anybody wants to. Well, we'll get more to Huey and his dad in the next episode. They have more interesting things there. So, any final thoughts on episode 4 before we go to 5?
It was a great setup to probably, in my opinion, so far the best episode of the season.
Episode 5.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I honestly, I gotta read through these to remember some of them, but I'll take your word for it on that. All right. So, episode 5, titled "Beware the Jabberwock, My Son." Synopsis for this is: after Hugh Sr. wakes from his coma, Daphne reveals she administered the V to him. Butcher informs the boys about a virus that kills Soups, acquired by Newman, and has been acquired by Newman. Butcher and MM visit Stan Edgar in prison, the former CEO of Vought, to seek help to obtain the virus in exchange for amnesty and custody of Newman's daughter. The boys and Stan, along with Newman, who shows up, discover the V and the virus being tested on animals at some animal farm, but are attacked by mutated sheep, and I think there are a couple other things, but sheep for the most part. Using the last surviving sample of the virus, they eliminate the threat. But Dr. Samir, who was working on the virus, is missing and presumed dead. MM returns Stan to prison, but Newman ends the episode by freeing him. Empowered and confused, Hugh Sr. kills patients at the hospital when he wakes up, until Huey ends his life peacefully. Vought News anchor Cameron Coleman is framed as the leak by Ashley after A-Train confronts her and basically forces her on his side, and the 7 then kill Cameron Coleman. And then Frenchie, in all of his grief, decides to surrender to the police for all of the various murders he's done. And at the end of the episode, it is revealed that Butcher had actually captured Dr. Samir. They cut off his leg and sent it to them to make him think that he was dead. and they have him captured and want him to replicate the virus. So that's it from episode 5, and we'll jump straight in. The episode starts at Vaught's Fan Festival, V52. The Deep and Cameron Coleman are presenting Phase 7 through 19 of the VCU, the Vought Cinematic Universe. As Homelander watches from backstage, he has flashes back to the previous episode and his traumatic childhood, and he thinks of Ryan. This is when he is approached by Sister Sage. She proceeds to ask him about his visit back home, but gets no response. And Homelander, who is twitching in the face when he's having those uncomfortable conversations. Meanwhile, Huey is at the hospital with his parents, Hugh Sr. and Daphne, and they are talking to Hugh Sr. about how he feels after he's been injected with the compound V and has woken up. Hugh Sr. appears to be in good health, and I was unsure if he actually had a stroke because he feels so well. And he even though saying the doctor said he shouldn't be alive. Huey walks out and talks to his mother in private, asking if she did inject the compound V, and she said it fell out of Huey's coat pocket, and she assumed he wanted to do it to save his dad. So she went ahead and did it. She says Huey grew up without one parent, and she couldn't bear the thought of him losing another one. All right. And then later in the episode, we have Custer Firecracker at Vought News, and she's bad-mouthing Starlight. As Starlight is shown watching in clear distress, she goes to take a look around her now vandalized Starlight home and has horrific messages all over the place. So, Brittany, we'll start with the heaviest part of the beginning of the episode is the Huey stuff with his dad. His dad wakes up, everything seems to be fine, and his mom explains the reasoning for giving the V, which is basically it's kind of out of her guilt for leaving them behind and giving this to Huey. Again, when we see Huey Senior wake up in the hospital and he seems fine, what did you think? How long did you think this calm would last before something inevitably went the way that it does in The Boys?
Honestly, I didn't think the calmness would last that long because it's The Boys. I knew something had to happen, but I didn't think that it would be this traumatic. Like, I knew it would be something. Like, I thought maybe he would just have some crazy powers, but I didn't know his powers would make him go somewhat insane because he was still brain dead when it happened. He was brain dead when it happened, wasn't he?
Yeah.
I don't know if they took out his tube, but I didn't know if he was brain dead.
They defined him as brain dead because of the activity with it. That's why they took the feeding tube out. So technically, at that point,
he should have died.
Yeah.
So he's in between these like lucid moments and non-lucid moments, and so it's like crazy how he starts going insane and punching through people and running through walls and just all over the place. But at the same time, it reminds me of something that would happen, I think, about to a typical white person. A black person would be like, wait a minute, hold up, I'm going to just stay still for a moment. Okay? And try to see what's going on around me. They wouldn't just be like, oh my God, and then run. And then just keep running through walls and then keep punching through. Black people don't do shit like that.
Yeah, you're right. I didn't even think of that, but yeah, you're right. Because he never kept still. Every time something happened, he would freak out and keep moving.
Oh my God, what's wrong with me? What happened? I'm gonna run. What you running for? What you running to?
Yeah. A lot of the things wouldn't happen if he just stayed his ass still. That's a good point. I didn't even think of that part. But we'll get back to his bloodbath a little bit later. But so starting at the beginning, Phipps, we start this at basically like a Comic-Con, and I'll just go with that because we're right around the corner from actual Comic-Con.
Yeah.
So is there any in this in Cameron Cole and Deep's little presentation and the little stuff backstage with Sister Stage, was there any fun little parody things that you saw that you liked out of that was worth mentioning on this?
Yeah, I mean, you gotta see the conversation that they had. So him and the Deep, like basically going after each other. He's talking about, he doesn't basically Cameron Cole doesn't like the Deep. Deep's like, hey, I'm gonna go and sleep with your wife. You're never gonna do that. But they're going back and forth, all for that to come full circle. At the end, he says, I'm gonna kill you and I'm still sleep. Like, that was hilarious for him to be able to tell him that. Like, I got the last laugh. I'm gonna kill you, and I'm going to sleep with your wife. Come on, man. That's full. That was perfect. I mean, that's why I said this was like one of my favorite episodes. You got that storyline that's going on. You got Butcher. You got, because as I told y'all before, you gotta watch who he was talking to and who responds to who's talking. And in this episode, Samir, when he's talking, Samir looks at him like Samir gave the look like, "Oh, it's only me and you. Like, who you talking to?" He gave the look. I don't know if you gotta be. I don't know if
in this one, they really made it clear. Like in the previous episodes, there were times when he's talking, like when they're on the park bench. Like there's a couple people that go by and they kind of look at him, but you don't really think about it. But in this one, Samir clearly is like, they show him look at Butcher and like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah.
But they don't go any further in that. But yeah.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, this was a good one because there's just so much going on in it. And but
all right. Let's get to the meat of that now, and I'm gonna jump to you next when I get through with this part, Jermaine. All right. So the boys themselves regroup at their headquarters and they make a new plan. Butcher announces that they have that there's a soup virus that was created at Godolphin University. Shout out to Gen V that kills soups. However, Victoria Newman managed to get it, so they need to track her down. To do that, Butcher and MM go to jail where Stan Edgar, Victoria's adoptive father, is locked up. They offer him release from jail in exchange for helping them secure the soup virus. He agrees and takes them to his old farm, sure that if Victoria were to hide anything, it will be there. He's right as they discover a lab and a bunch of souped up animals. Blood is everywhere and no one is to be found. However, Victoria promptly shows up and finds them there. They walk around the farm looking for clues and looking for Dr. Samir, Zoe's father. And they encounter super strength, violent chickens, as well as flying murderous sheep. They try to escape by hiding in a barn, where they find Samir, who explains that a leak infected the water supply, which made all of the animals go violent. He also explained that the virus he was developing is gone except for one dose. The team, apart from Butcher, insists that they use the final dose to infect a dead person to throw out for the animals to feed on so they can escape. The plan works and the animals start falling out of the sky. However, amid the chaos, Samir goes missing and all that is found is part of his leg. MM and Butcher sent Edgar back to jail because he didn't help them get the virus. However, Victoria kills the driver and frees him and helps him escape. It is later revealed that Butcher cut off Samir's leg and held him captive with the intention of handing him over to Joe Kessler, the person that Butcher's been talking to, so that Samir could create more of the virus to take down Homelander. And Joe is pleased that Butcher has decided to take this route. All right, so there's a lot that went on the farm. So Jermaine, when the chicken showed up, and then we got the sheep, who I don't remember what they did first, but I do remember it being like a rain of animals, and then the sheep come out and just start murdering Secret Service men. Again, we've seen a lot of. What you?
They heard him on the roof.
That's right. Yep, they heard him on. So we've seen a lot of stuff in the boys. Did you expect to see little Bo Peep sheep fly around and start picking people off and dropping them out the air without their guts all over the place?
First, let's give it up for Giancarlo Esposito, the man with gravitas. It doesn't matter what role he's playing, he plays it and he plays it well. He does an excellent job. I don't know why they got rid of him from the show. I bring him back, please. However, I do like old white girl. She is funny. Pulling her hair out and all that other stuff.
Oh, Ashley, okay.
But he just has this gravitas that you just want to follow everything that he does and says, because you feel like it has like another meaning, something deeper that you have to decode or whatever. But anyway, to answer your question, no, I did not expect that there would be flying sheep that would eat the fuck out of you. that you hit. Who thinks about running from a fucking sheep that's flying in the air? Like, that's unheard of. But this is the boys, and so this is something that you got to be ready for. You just fall right along in it, right? So let's start running. Question though, this was my question while watching it. Why doesn't Newman kill the fucking sheep? Everybody there knows she got powers. All of them do.
She killed some of them. So
she killed some of them.
She killed.
Why she didn't kill the fucking bull?
See, I don't know if like it depends on how her powers work, because I don't know if she can like accurately do it. Because she did one chicken, but it was out of like necessity to save Stan, right? Everybody else, she's like, I don't know if she can really control it.
Well, your girl is fucking weak. Either that or this was just a plot device. And okay, it's a plot device and it works. It really, really does. But I mean, it's one of those things where you have questions at the end. It was really, really good. Seeing it, it was entertaining. All of it was entertaining. But I still had those questions.
Hey, can I just say shout out to the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle reference? When they showed basically the glass broken, the ooze instead now is going into the water, and that's how all the animals came about.
Oh, damn! I missed it.
Listen, I love Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. When I saw it, I was like, oh, okay. Nice little nod to it.
Damn, I must not have been paying attention to that point, because I normally would have caught something like that. But that's a good catch. But on to you, Phipps. So in the middle of this is when is Joe there with Butcher the whole time, or is it just at the end when he gets Samir?
At the end, right?
Well, I mean, it depends on who you think Kessler is. Is he with him? Is he there? But yes, he's there at the end of it because he's looking to him. I think it's so interesting because he's always on a side of him. So it's almost like he is that angel talking to him and having that conversation with him, even if it's bad or good. But every angle that they shoot the sight or they shoot him in it just feels like he's either facing him over his shoulder or something like that. But no, he's there. He cuts his leg off, and he's Samir's like, bro, you're nuts. Like I can't do this for you. Like you want me to make this for you. Like I can't. He felt like he couldn't do it, but I mean, we're gonna see.
Right,
and I think one thing I want to interject, which I've noticed, and I hope they make this pan out. But the timelines, all of Gen V happens within the first 4 episodes, because when Butcher goes and gets the virus is at the end of Gen V, which then lines up when they go to V52. So,
okay,
concurrent. Which I'm like that. I didn't think they were gonna like run it concurrently, but the first 4 episodes run concurrent. That's when Gen V happened.
See, I mean, I knew it happened beforehand, but I didn't know that it was like lining up quite like that.
That's my assumption. Let me say that. It seems like that's how it lines up because it ends that way.
We see the kids from Gen V. Is it this episode we see them in?
Mm-hmm.
An old girl. Does she have like a patch on the eye or something?
I think so.
Okay, so I mean, it would line up. I just thought that when I think she had that patch on her eye, when I saw her, I was just like, okay, this has happened after the Indigen V. But yeah, if they're running them at the same time, I think that's a nice subtle thing. But it's also something they probably won't bring a whole lot of attention to. But if you know, you know. So get catch on you for that one. But back to Butcher when old boy's leg just randomly showed up at the end, I was like, oh yeah, he's not dead. I just didn't know who had him. Because before this, Butcher was struggling with the fact of did he really want to use a virus? Because to get it the strength, I think at this point he knows to get it the strength he needs to kill Homelander is going to kill the other suits. And it seemed like he was, at least his connection with Kamiko was enough for him to be like, and Ryan, it was like, maybe we shouldn't do this. But then when we see him at the end, it's like, oh, he didn't cut a whole old buddy leg off. All that's out the window. He about to commit genocide on soups, even if they're friends of his or not.
Yeah.
Okay. Any more fun from the animal form before we go to the rest of this episode?
That form was crazy. I can't believe they even did that. But listen, every episode's got to have something crazy in it.
They do, and they specifically do. Next one is, I know Jermaine likes that one. All right. To finish this episode off, we're back at the hospital with Huey's father, and he starts to forget things, and then he discovers he has. I forgot about Frenchie and fucking the sheep part when he could not grasp how that one dose was going to work when the dead dude can't fuck the sheep. I am glad you brought that up. I did enjoy that part very much.
Hilarious parts.
Yeah. All right. So back in the hospital, Hugh's father he starts killing innocent people with his new powers. He's even forgotten Huey and Daphne, so he's threatening to unknowingly kill them. But Huey intervenes and he's able to finally calm him down, and he realizes that he has to put his father down to save everyone else. So Hugh Senior has a moment of clarity. He agrees to let him do it, and Huey is able to inject him and actually have him pass away relatively quickly and peacefully. Back at the expo, there's several movie trailers about the Seven, including that Training with A-Train ridiculousness with Will Ferrell, and a new movie featuring Firecracker. Backstage, A-Train. This is when A-Train confides in Ashley that he is the one that leaked the footage, and he making her an accomplice. And she immediately realizes it and knows she's screwed. Homelander is talking to Ryan. He wants to know what he wants to do in all of this, and Ryan keeps saying he wants to help people. And Homelander suggests that he helps a young PA named Bonnie who's been getting hit on by the director that's been doing all these movies. And Ryan suggests that the director, Adam, apologize. And when he doesn't believe it's sincere, he suggests that Bonnie slap him over and over again. And then Ryan starts laughing along with Homelander, who's watching on. And later that night at Vought Tower, the leak is revealed to be Cameron Coleman, as Ashley has framed him because he dumped her because she's no longer actually running Vought. And the Seven kill him. Homelander announces to the Seven that they won't just be celebrities anymore, but rather wrathful guys. He even brings in Sam and Kate from Godok and the two we talked about earlier, and they promise to support Homelander when they're called to it. And then at the end, torn by guilt, Frenchie just goes to a police station and confesses his several murders to get arrested. And that is how that episode ends. So let's go. We'll go with you again, Brittany. We'll save the Huey stuff for last. So when A-Train shows up to Ashley and basically traps her in his whole leak situation, did you think she was going to actually give him up and save her own ass, or actually go along and be his accomplice like she ended up doing?
I did not think she would go along with him, because typical Ashley fashion would be to start pulling her hair out, go into a corner, pull her hair out, and be like, how can I give him up so I can stay on top? I think we're seeing a new side of Ashley ever since she's not in power anymore. And this side is somebody that has a little bit more empathy, which is shocking because the whole time she's doing it, I'm thinking, what can she get out of it? She's not the type of person to do anything unless she can get something out of it. But I can't see what she can get out of it except for safety and protecting her own self.
So, yeah, I think she was really, really ambitious early on, but like starting this season when she was actively thinking about leaving and then realizing if she left, she would probably be dead. I think that's where her turn has come. But even still, she's all about self-preservation overall. So I was really shocked that she didn't just turn A-Train in, because the longer she plays this game with A-Train, the more likely it is that somebody is going to cap her.
Exactly.
So I was there shocked with that one too. Now, Phipps, since during the torture scene, since you've already mentioned how the Deep is a dick to Cameron Coleman before he kills him, all of like the seven kind of like reveling in killing this dude and basically pledging their loyalty to Homelander. Like, how did you think this was going to play out going forward?
I mean, here's the thing. Each time they've done something to someone, basically at the behest of Homelanders, like, you got to seem like you're excited. You got to seem like you're doing it because you like it. Now, for some reason, the Deep had, these last few kills, the Deep has had like issues with everybody. So he's like, I'm trying to beat everybody out. I'm trying to take everybody out. We saw it in a clip earlier. Like, he wants to kill everybody. So I don't know what's going on with him, but hey, listen, they seem happy about taking these people out. Cameron Cole, he's whatever the Tucker guy is from Fox News. That basically, it seems like the direct depiction of it. So, he makes, obviously, as journalism, he has to have fair and balance, as they called out in the show. So, they don't like fair and balance. They want everything to be good on their side. And because of that, he was just literally wrong place, wrong time, and got killed for it in the worst way possible.
Yeah. Okay, I know they killed him. I can't remember exactly what. Did they just beat him down, or
they just beat him, like walked in and beat him like a dog?
That seems about right for them. But for as far as the Deep is just like the ultimate try hard to me. Like he's gonna try everything to appease. Actually, I don't know if I should say this because it's like the little cartoon dog that was with the bulldog that he's just hopping around, and every time the bulldog tells him he tries to do it. That's what the Deep feels like to me.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And Jermaine, I'm gonna give you the last word on this. I'm going to give you the somber topic because I know you're gonna go nuts in the next episode. So when you'll know when we get to it. So Huey has to put his fault down after a whole lot of bloodshed. Like from what we've seen of Huey, there was a point of me that I didn't know if he actually could do it because I didn't know if he had that in him. I thought he would have to like pass it off to his mom or something. Did you see this part coming for Huey, like actually being the one to do it for his dad, even though it's like probably the hardest thing he had to do?
It wasn't all that surprising, and the reason I say that is because Huey's character has gone through an evolution. So when that first season of The Boys, he was completely and totally green, like you're useless. Why are you here? Like you just feel pity for him. You no longer feel pity for him, right? He's in there. He's making things happen. To the and you just mentioned it. What was it? It was last season where he took the Temp V. I think it was last season, right? So he is trying to like I don't want to say fit in with the boys, but he's asserting himself. He's realizing that from the other perspective, because of where he is now, there are consequences to his actions, and he's learning from his own mistakes, and he's getting better. And that is what I see from that particular character. And so the thing about a child, however, this is my however statement, is a child wants their parent to live as long as possible because you can't imagine your parent not being there for you. But given the particular set of circumstances that Huey is beset with, the fact that his father is going around killing everybody, but probably more to the point for Huey, he's basically going to lose his dad because of I'm going to call it dementia for lack of a better term. He's going to lose his dad. Why would he want his dad in that particular state? The loss of his mind, and especially like when he does lose his mind, he's more apt to kill people. So why would he want his dad to go through that? So yes, it made perfect sense for Huey to then say, okay, I'm going to euthanize you.
Okay. All good points. I won't add too much to that one. Yeah, we'll just go ahead on and move to the next episode, episode 6, called Dirty Business. This is your sex cave episode with lots of gimp suits and lube and all this other shit that's going to come in. So, the synopsis for this one, the boys.
So that's what you meant?
Oh, yeah.
I'm the sexual deviant? Okay, all right.
All right. I didn't say that.
I'll wear that cape. I'll wear that cape.
You took it. I did not give it to you. I did not say you had it. You did this.
With the web weaver hole in the back.
Man.
Web weaver was on full display.
It's so
he was
weird.
Full, all right.
That stupid hole is so weird to me. I hate it. I hate looking at it because it just like it shouldn't be that high up. Anyway.
It doesn't even seem like it's functional.
I mean, because of the anatomy, I know. I know where certain holes are. I mean, this hole is like it's down there, but then it's like up here, and it moves different than anything else, and it's like it freaks me out. I just don't like that particular.
He just got a high back. He just got a high back.
Yeah.
You know,
All right, this synopsis. The boys learn that Tech Knight is hosting a party at his mansion with Newman and the 7 in attendance. They infiltrate the party by disguising Huey as the suit web weaver. When Tech Knight discovers Huey's identity, they enter the mansion to rescue him. MM shoots Sage in the head right before he has a panic attack. A-Train saves him by rushing him to the hospital, and of course, Sage survives. Annie and Kamiko save Huey and restrain Tech Knight, forcing him to reveal that Homelander and Sage plan to use his prisons as internment camps before he is killed by his butler Elijah. Homelander and Newman convince the senators that are at the party to rally against President Singer. Firecracker tells Homelander about her encounter with Annie, realizing that the leak is still alive. Meanwhile, Butcher forces Samir to replicate and enhance the virus strong enough to kill Homelander. When Samir reveals that the enhancing virus could potentially kill every super on the Earth, Butcher is pressured by Joe to continue, but discovers he is hallucinating as the real Joe died years ago. So that's basically what happens here. It's a whole. This one, for me, it because it has the fake Spider-Man and the fake Batman. I got my little comic book enjoyment out of it, but the damn sex cave is a wild bunch. So let's hurry up and get to that. All right. So the show starts with Butcher waking up. He wakes up Samir and demands that he creates the stronger dose of the soup virus to take down Homelander. Samir hesitates, worrying that he might use this the same thing against his wife. I think it's his wife, Victoria Newman, and his daughter. And a final farewell to his dad, Huey scatters his father's ashes during a Made in Manhattan walkthrough tour with his mom, Daphne, with Starlight, MM, and Kamiko. He tells Daphne and Frenchie. He tells Daphne about Frenchie turning himself in for his past murders, working for the Russian mob. But their conversation is interrupted by a protester shouting "abortion is murder" towards Annie. Huey tells the guy off, and they continue walking to avoid the scene. After Starlight asks Huey to back down. Later, Kamiko tries to visit Frenchie in prison, but he refuses to see anyone. Firecracker replaces Cameron Coleman as the anchor of Vault News Network. Her first story focuses on on Jewish space lasers brainwashing people. MM watches and turns the TV off. He tries to meditate, but is interrupted by a panicked call from A-Train, who is terrified that he'll be found out as the lead. A-Train gives the boys some more intel about a meet and greet at Tech Knight's house, and MM devises a plan to infiltrate the party where they might uncover what Tech Knight has been discussing with Sister Sage. With Butcher missing, they turn to Web Weaver, a suit for help. Web Weaver, a drug addict, agrees to help in exchange for a fix that MM has to administer to him so he can pass out and they can steal his costume. It doesn't matter which one of y'all want to start with, but we're gonna start with him taking the MM having to administer his fix and all of the shit that entail with that. So whichever one of y'all want to start with that one.
Listen, I'm gonna speak to MM's professionalism. To stay calm under pressure in the situation at hand.
In the face of ass.
He a better man than me, because when the man when he gave the web squirting or whatever, I was like, I'm done. Wrap it up. Let me just wrap the show up. Like, it's over with for me. I can't do it. Can't do it.
They just squirt him in his face.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Nah, dog. Nah. Just beat his ass and take the costume at that point. Like, we solve all the problems. So what was he on? What did he give him that had to be that's the only way he could take it? Did they ever say
something strong, an opioid or something? Because it knocked him out.
I mean, I think for like days, because they just took his stuff, left, and then brought it back, and we see him later in the next episode. Jermaine, anything you want to add?
Actually, no, not right here.
Not right.
Not right.
Okay. We wait for you for the for the sex cave. Okay, cool. I got it. Also, Brittany, anything you want to add here? Doesn't have to be about this. We can talk about the funeral for Hugh's dad, sort of the Maid Manhattan thing. Okay, everybody wants the sex cave. All right, I got it. So, moving on. Homelander, Ryan, and the 7 attend Tech Knight's party. Tech Knight suggests a team up with Homelander, but is immediately dismissed because Homelander will never be an equal to Knight. Again, as a comic book guy, I want to note that this is the equivalent of Batman talking to Superman, and Superman tells Batman to shut the fuck up. You ain't on my level. I'm just putting that out there for all you people that got to have an argument about this. This is how this would go. So Ashley, who goes, she knows Ted Knight from way back, shows up at the party to surprise Sister Sage. Huey shows up disguised as Web Weaver and sneaks into the mansion to plant bugs and gather information. Homelander mentions to Victoria a secret meeting to convince the rich elite to commit high treason. Victoria, worried but strategic, supports Homelander's plan despite its risk. Sister Sage advises her to maintain their alliance for the upcoming challenges, claiming that women in the past can only be successful by pretending around the men before cutting their throats. Victoria keeps her composure even as Homelander reveals that Stan Edgar is out of jail. Tech Knight takes Web Weaver, aka Huey, on a house tour, and he invites him down to his secret tech cave, a BDSM dungeon and torture chamber. Tech is delighted to show Web Weaver this room, inviting him to be his next sidekick. Huey notices Tech Knight's last sidekick, Chainsaw Wall, in a gimp suit. Tech Knight misinterprets Huey's nervousness as excitement and promises more extreme activities. Huey manages to humor Tech Knight until Ashley interrupts. Tech Knight instructs Huey to clean up with sandpaper, but Huey is soon tied up and subjected to the things that Ashley does to him. Tech Knight grows suspicious when Huey can't recall what Weaver's safe word, leading Tech Knight to rip off his mask and find Huey inside. Annie, Kamiko, and MM are snuck into the party after they lost contact with Huey. Starlight uses syringes to subdue Firecracker, and MM holds Sage at gunpoint while Kamiko searches for Tech Knight's secret book to open into the dungeon. Sage is shot and triggers while trying to trigger an alarm, and Kamiko convinces A-Train to help MM, who just had a panic attack, and bring him to the hospital. All right, we're here. We're at the sex dungeon.
Here we are.
There. So I'm gonna let y'all all go because I don't remember everything that happens. The thing that I remember the most is Ashley rubbing the pussy juice all over Web Weaver's mask. Like I'll never forget that. It's just like burned in my mind. So you can tell. Please remind me of whatever other demented shit that happened in there, because I like that happened and it just took everything else. So Jermaine.
Well, I was sitting here thinking about other things that you might not have mentioned. I don't remember you talking about the other guy that he had tied up, who was all in red or whatever.
Yeah, that was his previous sidekick. Like, this is his sidekick auditions, and the previous sidekick was sitting there.
Well, so my thought there was just the fact that there was someone else there, and the fact that you kept them there, and then also like I'm gonna call him Butler. I don't know what else to call him. The fact that that guy was there and he was complicit with everything that was happening up until then. I was just like, man, this shit is wild. Like, how the hell can all of this shit happen? It's just like these soups can do whatever the fuck they want to do. It don't matter how much money you got. It's amazing that A-Train didn't kill more people than he killed. It's like all is forgiven in this world. And then just the moral depravity of these people just thinking that they can do whatever it is that they want to do. And when Tech Knight basically came to Web Weaver and he was just like, I'm trying to get on your level. I was like, who the fuck is Web Weaver? And then Web Weaver is a dirty ass motherfucker. How the hell your suit stink like that? Like how can you just be in that suit stinking all the time? Like, what kind of how much sex are you getting? How much drugs are you getting that you can't smell that shit? Literally, you can't smell that shit. Like, it's just amazing to me. Like, all of this.
Because even Homelander couldn't do it. Homelander couldn't smell Huey because he was like, nope, smells like Web Weaver. Yep.
That's right. Because Homelander can smell people. Yeah. Yeah, that's too much.
They did a lot with that one.
Wait, before I get all the way to your thoughts, Phillips, Brittany, you saw it. What did you see?
It was a lot. I saw a man being pent down, a woman spanking him and tickling him until he, I guess, was aroused, and then she getting so wet from doing that she wipes her pussy juice on his face. It was a lot. And then Tech 9 was excited. But the crazy part was that Tech 9 didn't realize something was off until he figured out what was his safe word. And that's when he was like, yo, you are not who you say you are. You are not who you say you are. I am going to have a lot of fun torturing you.
This is how messed up Tech Knight is, because he realizes not the dude that he wants, but when he saw that it was Huey, he got more excited. He's like, he didn't worry about why he was there and what he was doing or who Huey might have been with. He's like, oh no, I can do some more fucked up shit to you. And again, Tech Knight, it's a whole. He just gonna put it in there. So Huey was in for a long night.
Oh my god.
He fucked the shit out of his hole. And then when he cut the slice out of his clothes, and you could see where he was about to cut him at.
Oh yeah, that's right. And then through all this, his butler's there like cleaning this shit up. Like it's Tuesday. Like, this is just what he does on Tuesday. Let me go ahead and bust out this spray to clean up this pussy juice mark that's sitting here dripping on the floor.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Anything else from the sex dungeon?
I mean, so as crazy as it was, the story itself, like I say, it makes sense. It adds along to what we got going on here, because you have what the boys is really about, right? It is superheroes based in what we believe is reality. When they don't do the altruistic thing and always do what's right, they might do what's wrong, right? So in this situation, you got Tech Knight that has his tumor. He's got to play with all these hoes. You got Ashley that, for whatever reason, she knows everybody. Like, that's her power play. She doing some crazy stuff, and I thought it was kind of cool. She was able to throw it out on everybody else. Like, nah, we go way back. Like, we out here. So, but no, all that to say, like, it really helped the progression and moving forward, because the butler finally stood up. The butler was like, the torturing that had to occur for the gimp to come out and all this type stuff.
Oh, we're gonna get to the torturing, because I thought that was rather creative how they did that.
Oh, that was amazing.
One last thing about this part, because it basically has the power plays between Newman and Homelander and Sage, particularly Sage, trying to like declare an alliance with Newman. She on the strength of basically we're the only women in this, and we're probably the smartest two people in this, which is probably true. Let's see. Phipps, were you surprised that Newman took this? Like, she basically took the steps of more or less treason, saying she's going to overthrow the president. Were you surprised that she made such a strong declaration when most of the moves she's made through the series have been behind the scenes, and so nobody knows what she's doing?
Well, I mean, if what she's been doing this entire time is leading up to that final goal, it feels like this is just the last step before we cross the finish line. So it's almost like there's no more hiding she can do. She now has to actually cross the finish line. She's got to take this guy out. So it's surprising to see her do it, but it's not shocking because it had to happen at some point. This just happens to be that point.
All right. Let's wrap up this episode. So, Huey, Starlight, and Kamiko. Starlight and Kamiko finally make their way down to help out Huey. They find Tech Knight and try to torture him for information, but he's a damn freak and he's excited by this. So his former sidekick, who's apparently his name is Ladio, helps them access Tech Knight's computer to access his bank accounts. And they proceed to start giving away his money to different philanthropic endeavors that he does not agree with. This actually hurts him, and it caused him to tell the plan that they want to use his prisons as internment camps for people that disagree with what Homeland is doing. Elijah, Tech Knight's assistant, strangles him after this happens and tells Huey and the others to leave. And as they leave, he tells Huey that what Weaver's safe word was Zendaya. Back at Vought, Firecracker tells Homelander she ran into Starlight at Tech Knight's house, but that she got away. She demonstrates her loyalty by producing breast milk and revealing she took a regimen of drugs to be able to do it. And Homelander does what Homelander does and starts curling up on the couch, suckling at tits. Meanwhile, Butcher returns to Samir with more equipment, trying to pressure him to develop the virus. Kessler it's here that we find out that Kessler is also a figment of Butcher's imagination, as Butcher is arguing with the imaginary Becca and the imaginary Kessler, and Kessler then in turn talks to Becca, and that's when we get the revelation that no one is really there except for Butcher and Samir. All right. Ashley, I'll give you first crack at this. When they said we're going to give your money to Black Lives Matter, and Tech Knight did what crack ass crackers do, was so revolted by this. How much? I mean, it's all fiction and whatnot, but how much enjoyment did you get out of seeing a rich white person just so revolted by having to give up their money to something that might actually help black people?
He said Ashley, but he meant Brittany.
Oh.
Yeah, my bad. I'm sorry. I'm looking at this thing.
What's the question?
Did you get any enjoyment out of watching this rich white man be so revolted by giving away his money to help black people?
I loved it. I loved that part because it was like torturing him, and you could see the literal pain in his face. He is a good actor. Like, he is a good actor. Like, he did his shit with that Tech Nine part. He has a lot of range in terms of how he came from being in that moment and being sexual and being like, ha ha ha, I'm going to be evil. I'm going to touch you. I'm going to pleasure myself by fucking all your holes. And then he comes to the part where he's now the one that's going to be tortured. And instead of having pleasure, he has pain. And so I like that part a lot.
All right.
And just the fact that it was Starlighter who was coming up with these ideas. You know what I'm saying? Like Miss Goody Two Shoes, who we now know had an abortion, is now unleashing a different side of herself. That was nice to see.
Yes, it really was.
I mean, she is the stand-in for liberal white women. I would imagine them to be the first ones to be like, oh, Black Lives Matter, because a lot of them were claiming that at the time. But I didn't get that enjoyment out of it. What about you, Phipps?
No, I think it was interesting how they used everything. How can you hurt somebody that enjoys being hurt? Well, you take a billionaire's money. And when they did that and they started going down the list of them, they did Black Lives Matter. It was amazing to see that was the point where he breaks. It's like, oh no, you gave too much money to them. I can't, that hurts me more than anything else. You can have whatever you want. Whatever info you need is right there.
It was like retribution for when he was talking to A-Train, talking about what did he say?
It's like his family made money catching runaway slaves.
Yeah. So like that it was good to see that the writers were thinking about tying those two ends together like that.
All right. We'll briefly get into Homelander's fetish. So when Firecracker is confronting Homelander at the end, and it clearly looks like she's into him, and he's like, I'm just not into you. And then she pulls out the boob, and the milk splashes. Like, was anybody else expecting? I thought you really just gonna try to seduce him. I did not expect her to just blast him full of baby juice.
I wasn't expecting that, but it reminded me of season 1 when old girl, I can't think of her name. We talked about the last episode. She used to it was like a what do you call it? What babies drink or whatever.
The baby bottle.
Yeah, and she would console him like a mom and all the other good stuff. I think though that if Ashley had known that she could or should have been treating Homelander in that way, Homelander would be a completely different person.
How towards her towards everybody?
Towards everyone, because remember, she was able to control him. She was
She
able to
was.
control.
That is an interesting thought. I still like is it widely known now that Homelander is into breast milk? Because I don't remember everybody knowing, but I mean Firecracker clearly knows, and she's known for a while to be put in this position.
That's just her nasty ass, white trailer ass.
Yeah.
That kind of shit turn people. No, I'm just talking shit.
I don't think everybody knows because when A-Train saw it in the apartment, it was like, what is like? He was like, what the hell is this?
That's right. That's right. So I wonder if they'll like just talking all this out. I kind of wonder if they'll at least touch on how she knew, because she ain't nobody. I don't know how she would know this. And the way she talked about it seemed like she had been doing this. She would have had to been doing this before she met him.
Right.
So,
but like I think she researched him. I think that was her way in to get to him, because the pills that Frenchie found before when he was going through her place, that was them.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Pills.
I just want to know where she get her information from, because this should be some stuff that's on under lock and key. Like your big Superman dude, he'll bow down as long as you got some breast milk on hand.
Yeah. And I think the acting was so perfect with it, because I don't know if it looked like he didn't expect for the milk to hit him in the face. It was like joy, excitement, crazy, and it was like, wait,
confusion, yeah.
Yeah, in that moment, he probably got like a little chubby.
Definitely. Oh, definitely.
All right, and last but not least, the scene with Butcher and the revelation that he's got not one but two people talking inside his head. I'm gonna come to you, Phipps, because you brought it up on the last episode. So when you brought it up, then were you saying just because we hadn't seen this one yet? So how were you picking up on this going into this episode?
Because I mean, here's the thing: you have Becca, right? Becca was always a memory. Becca, the good side of him that nobody saw. This is what I thought, right? I probably made all this up. Nobody saw his good side. Everybody saw his bad side. His like he was an asshole, stuff like that. So now nobody sees Becca, right? Nobody sees that. He didn't see it, but then it felt like people saw his bad side, which was Kessler. But nobody interacted with him. He had fruit. He had all type of stuff. Like he didn't interact with shit. That he gave him a coffee one time and he didn't pick it up. I was like, damn, like that. Like I noticed it because I was like, damn, he didn't even drink with him. Like that's supposed to be his buddy. He ain't drinking with him. He drinks with everybody. And then I started noticing like nobody looked at him. And I was like, damn, hold on. You know, that it started like it was just small things like that. And when that last episode, when your boy looked and he was like, bro, I don't know who you talking to. Like, it's just me and you here. Like you telling somebody else to come and take him and put him to the side, like who's the other person? So, you know, it was just such an interesting thing because bro, they set it up so perfectly so that now, you know, he has his good angel, has his bad angel, and we got to see who's going to
win. All right. I think that about covers it. Anybody else have any grander thoughts from these 3 episodes of The Boys before we wrap it up? There's 2 more left. One that's out now, and we get the season finale. I think it's tomorrow.
Yeah.
Any thoughts about these? Any thoughts about what you think we might see going into the last 2?
Well,
oh yeah. As the video put earlier, A-Tray gonna die. None of us know this for sure. I hope it doesn't happen, but
Yeah.
I mean, the track record for these things is not very good. So we'll see after episode 8 if we still have A Train around. Anything else?
Yeah, we know we're going into the last season, so it makes sense that people are gonna die. It makes sense that some of our favorites won't be around, but they got to wrap up a lot of plot line for us in one episode, 2 episodes, I should say. 2 episodes. They got a lot of plot line to get through. So looking forward to it.
All right. Any last words, Jermaine?
Nah, I'm good.
Well, all right. With that, I want to thank everybody for being here tonight and everybody that's out there watching as we recap The Boys episodes 4 through 6. And hopefully no hurricanes happening. We'll be back next week to do, I'm guessing, 7 and 8 and bring this season to a close.
All right. Thank you all so very much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Y'all have a good one.